A vape case in Singapore just got a shock twist. The jail term jumped 8 times longer, not because of new evidence, but because the authorities change how they argue these cases in court. Here's what happened. A 29-year-old engineer, Orison To Chun Ki, was caught with more than 1,500 vaping devices and parts, and he ended up being sentenced to 8 weeks in jail. But at first, the prosecution was only asking for 1 week. Yes, 1 week. So what changed? According to reports, the court directed the Health Sciences Authority, or HSA, to review its sentencing approach for vape-related offences. Not just special cases, but across the board. After that review, the prosecution came back with a much tougher request: 12 weeks jail, plus a $3,000 fine. This revision wasn't only about vape pods linked to drugs. It included all vape cases, even those that don't involve K-pods. Now, if you've been hearing the word K-pods floating around, these are vape pods containing etomidate, an anesthetic drug. Etomidate was classified as a Class C drug under the Misuse of Drugs Act in September 2025. But in this case, court documents stated To had no links to syndicates, and the case did not involve etomidate products. So what exactly was he charged for? To pleaded guilty to 1 charge of possessing vapes for sale and another charge of offering vapes for sale online, through Telegram. 2 more charges were taken into consideration during sentencing. And here's another interesting detail. To was originally expected to plead guilty on the 25th of August, 2025. But the case kept getting pushed back because HSA was reviewing how it wanted to approach sentencing for vape offences. Now let's talk about the operation that led to his arrest. Court records said To had been delivering vape parcels as a side hustle since February 2024, earning about $10 per trip. Then on the 2nd of September, 2025, HSA received a tip-off about a consignment containing vaping products received by a company. Officers later observed To collecting the parcel. He was stopped, his car was searched, and inside was a large stash of vaping devices and pods, including products from earlier deliveries. In total, officers found 1,639 vaping products in his vehicle. To later claimed he intended to start selling vapes, but had not started yet. Then came the sentencing fight in court. His lawyer objected strongly to the sudden jump in punishment. He argued that a fine would be more appropriate, and said it was hard to justify such a drastic increase when no new facts had emerged. He also argued that To was facing heavier punishment through no delay and no fault of his own, because the offences happened long before the new sentencing stance was introduced. He told the court that To had wanted to plead guilty since April 2025, had no transnational links, and wasn't part of a larger syndicate. But the judge wasn't convinced. District Judge Terrence Tate disagreed, and described To as a key interface between suppliers and customers, basically, a bridge that helps the illegal vape trade move smoothly from seller to buyer. And the judge pointed to a bigger national concern. That vaping has become an increasing problem in Singapore, especially among youths, and it raises serious public health risks. Because vape offences can be hard to detect, the judge said the courts need tougher sentences to create strong deterrence. Under the law, for each charge of possessing vapes for sale or offering them online, To could have faced up to 6 months jail, a fine up to $10,000, or both. Now here's the biggest policy change that people should pay attention to. Under the revised approach, jail time will be imposed for offences involving more than 19 vape devices or components. That number is important. More than 19, and jail becomes the starting direction. And that's how we ended up with this outcome. An engineer caught with over 1,500 vape-related items, originally facing a 1-week request. Then suddenly the prosecution pushes for 12 weeks, and the final sentence lands at 8 weeks in jail. So here's the big question for you. With Singapore now shifting towards tougher jail-first punishment for vape cases, do you think this will actually stop the vape market, or will it just push it deeper underground? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want clear, detailed updates on what's happening in Singapore and what it means for everyday people, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to 2230. See you in the next one.